everyone to another weekly Wednesday workshop with Ascending Tribe. We have the amazing David Sonsino here, who is going to be taking us through ayahuasca and how it basically connects to source, everything, the pineal gland, how it's such a beneficial and vital plant medicine for expansion, growth, healing. And yeah, ultimately, I think it's like the top spirit medicine. So David, would you like to give us a little introduction into your experience and background, and then take it away?
Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you for inviting me to this program, and I hope you would like all the information I'm going to be giving you all. Just want to let you know, English is not my first language, so sometimes I'm looking for the right word to express myself. So sometimes it comes fast, and sometimes it doesn't that fast. So I am so sorry in case I don't express myself the way I want it, as English is my second language, not my first, okay? So I'm going to start giving you a little background about how I started to do ayahuasca. And well, I have been an ayahuasca facilitator for the last 9 years. And I have been working with this wonderful medicine with a lot of people, gathering groups almost every 15 days and doing ceremonies. And seeing a lot of people, how their life changes for good, and how some people heal a lot of things. We all have something to heal. And it has been a wonderful vocation for me since the first time I took ayahuasca. Ayahuasca took me for what I was looking for. You know, it takes me spiritually. It took me where I was looking for. And I will tell you as I go the experience that I had the first time I took the ayahuasca and everything. So I'm going to start saying a little bit about ayahuasca. Yes, ayahuasca, it's a vine. Yeah, it's this vine. It has a little flower. I don't know if you can see it from there. Yes, and they give ayahuasca. I don't like to say it's a potion or a drink. I would like rather say it's a energy of love and peace. Yes, and they put the name of ayahuasca as the vine, ayahuasca, but it is made with two different plants. Yes, one is the ayahuasca vine, and the other one is, it's like a bush, like a coffee bush, kind of, that is called, the leaf is called chacruna. So the ayahuasca vine is going to give you the MAO inhibitors, who are going to help us not to, when we drink the ayahuasca, not to digest the ayahuasca, so it will stay in our tummy and it will break them from there, so we can absorb it through all our blood system, and will make it come all the way to our brain, the ayahuasca. That's what the vine of ayahuasca makes. And then the leaves of the chacruna are going to give us the dimethyltryptamine, or the DMT, that help us to have visions sometimes. I say sometimes because not everybody can have visions, because X or Y thing, you know, sometimes we have our pineal gland calcified, so we cannot activate it, but I'm going to talk through that in a little bit more. So the ayahuasca, if you make a tea or an infusion of just the ayahuasca and you drink it, nothing is going to happen. If you make a tea from the leaves of the chacruna and you drink it alone, nothing is going to happen. But what happened when the scenery of the two plants together, then it makes you the ayahuasca effect. Yes, so it's ayahuasca and chacruna, and it's made with a lot of we made it with a lot of water. Yes, like 50 liters of water, and we reduce all this into 1 liter. We make 1 liter of ayahuasca. So it's really a lot of work for the shaman to be singing to the ayahuasca while it's cooking, and being in their thoughts always with purity and with love, and because all this energy you pass it through to the ayahuasca that everybody is going to drink. So if it's an ayahuasca that is made with peace and tranquility, you're going to have also a peace and tranquility with all the people that join the ceremony. So it is really very, very nice. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more. Uh, Once when you take the ayahuasca vine, it takes about, it could start making effect on us since 10 minutes after you drink it until 1 hour, an hour and a half. There's no rule. More or less the average to go into the trance, it's about 45 minutes, more or less. But like I said, there's some people that after 10 minutes they start feeling the effects of ayahuasca. And there's some people that, they come to me about an hour and a half and they told me, I don't feel anything, but they start to feel it after. So there's no rule about it. But then, so ayahuasca, it's for me, everything what I am telling you, it's my experience, my research. So please don't believe on everything what I say. Do your own research, because each one, it's different, and it might work different for you and different for you than to me. Also, I want to talk about a little bit about ayahuasca. Ayahuasca can go into our subconscious mind, that is the 95% of our conscious that we are not conscious. And we store there a lot of issues that sometimes they don't let us with our everyday life. And we don't even know why. It's because it's stored in our subconscious. It's like an example, one participant came and she had during the night, she had a very strong effect on her subconscious mind, because she started to see she was raped when she was 3 years old. So she could not have any relations with anybody because of the trauma that she has, but she didn't knew at that time that she has a trauma. So during the ayahuasca ceremony, in that night of the ceremony, she was crying a lot during the ceremony. It was very hard work for her, because she lived all the violation, the rape, and she realized who raped her. She saw an uncle. So it was very hard for her that night. She was crying a lot during the night, but she was healing it. So after some time, she called me after the ceremony. She called me and she told me that she healed it at all levels, at spiritual level, mental level, physical level, and now she could have relations with other people. So it was hard for her at that moment, but she healed herself. And that was wonderful. And she's very grateful and very, yeah, grateful to the ayahuasca, because she could heal that part of her that, imagine, she was 25 when she came, and since 3 years old, she didn't knew what happened to her. But all those trauma are kept in our subconscious level. So a lot of stories like that happen, with people that come. So like I said before, we all have something to heal, physically, mentally, spiritually. We all have a lot of things to heal. I cannot tell to anybody what is going to happen to them with the ayahuasca, because we all are programmed in different ways. Anna can be programmed, depending the region of geographic region where you are. You might have to be or Jewish or Christian or Muslim or whatever religion or faith you have. So they program us, our grandparents, in school, the religion. So each one of us has a different program and a different thing to heal. So, also people ask me if you can get into a spiritual level with ayahuasca. I say, that doesn't depend on me. It depends on each person where you are stand in your spirituality. For me, since the first day that I took my first time ayahuasca, it took me to a place where I wanted to be there, talking spiritually. All of a sudden, after a lot of things happen, it was like everything become light, 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 light. And I became the light. So I fusion into the light. I was not David anymore. I was part of God. God is light. So I was part of God. So since that day, I stopped looking for answers of God, or because I found it. Everything is inside of us. So it was a very revealing part at that moment for me. And, I felt like I was touched by God. So all my life changes since that. So also with ayahuasca, what it can happen to you is that you take the path of your neurotransmitters, always take the same path. Yes, let's say Alexandra has insomnia. So every night, Alexandra, let's say she goes to bed at 8, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up and she cannot sleep anymore. So the next day, it happens the same. Alexandra goes to sleep at 8, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up. And it's a pattern that repeats every day. So why is that? It's because your neurotransmitters always take the same way. So what ayahuasca can do is, like, let's say it always takes this way, this way, this way. So ayahuasca, what does is it changes the path. So instead of taking this way, it's going to take this way. So let's say Alejandra go to bed at 8 o'clock after ayahuasca, and she takes the same road, the same path, but there's not a hope where she's going to fall at 3 o'clock in the morning and to wake up, not anymore. So that's what happened to ayahuasca. You take another path, another way, where you don't have these memories, or, like an example also, sometimes if a dog beaten you at one point in your life, you want to cross the street where there's not a dog there or something because you are afraid. It's because that memory is registered in your neurological path, and it takes always the same. So you see the dog that beats you, and you don't want to go through there because it remembers you. But with ayahuasca, probably it will take another path where you don't see the dog, or the afraid of the dog. Yeah, I don't know if am I clear about talking all this? Okay, perfect. So it's really very wonderful how it works, because you don't even know how you heal yourself, but you do. What happens with ayahuasca also is that a lot of understanding, you download a lot of understanding. The same way you have your own intelligence, like if Nima goes to sleep, let's say if Nima goes to sleep, who's breathing? Nima is sleeping. So who's breathing? So I like to call that our inner child. This intelligence, I like to call it our inner child. You can have a female or a male inner child. It doesn't have sex, so it doesn't matter. Sometimes your inner child can come out in ayahuasca also, and we forget that we had an inner child, but it has been there with us all our life. So sometimes when ayahuasca, you make peace with your inner child, and you it appears to you, and it has been there, like, let's say, like Aladdin lamp that you rub the lamp and the genius come out. It's the same way, this inner child is there inside of us, just waiting for our instructions, for with our thoughts and emotions. Yes, so we produce our life, we make our life, our movie, our matrix, according to feelings. Yes, these images and feelings. This inner child doesn't understand English or Spanish or any language, but it understands feeling and images. So it's very important to feel and to image. Like I make here prior to ceremony, I make a workshop that I call it the Forgiven workshop, where I pass some papers to everybody, and you have to fill it out, that you who you have to forgive, or who you ask for forgiveness, to whom you need to ask for forgiveness, and also you give your forgiven to whoever needs your forgiveness. So after that, we burn this paper. But it's what I tell to people, it's very important that we make it written. Why written? Because there's the image where you write it, and the feeling that you put to forgive somebody, so your inner child understands the message. Yes. So I asked everybody, just forgive even to your worst enemy, because it's like carrying a bag full of weight, a lot of stones. So when you do this exercise, it's like you just throw away these stones and you enter to the ceremony already lighter, because to forgive is to liberate. So we liberate and we forgive. So we start good the ceremony. Also, I like to talk a little bit about, you know, I like to say that we all are shamans. We all have the same power to heal ourselves. So let's say, like, sometimes a dog, a dog gets sick of something. What does the dog do? He goes to his house or to a little corner, and he stop eating, so he can use all this energy to heal themselves. And then you don't see the dog running, or but 2 or 3 days, and after that you see them already healed and running and going and eating good and everything. So the same happens to us. We have the same power to heal ourselves, but we tend to forget about it, because if you have a headache and the first thing, oh, take 2 aspirins or take 2 Tylenol, or oh, I'm going to have a cold, oh, take this medicine for colds, and we suppress all the symptoms that the universe is giving us. Maybe this headache, it's coming because I have something in my liver, and the our own system is telling us, be careful, you have something. So it's very important to really know, to hear all the symptoms in our body, to heal them. Like I say, we have a lot of intelligence to heal ourselves. So I like to be honest to people when they come to the ceremony, because sometimes probably they want to see somebody, with feathers and a tunic, or, a costume, a shaman costume. And, when I started to do my ceremonies, I was asking myself, David, what are you going to wear? Are you going to put these feathers, or this suit, or this? And I decided not to, because I like to be myself. I want to be David. So if I like to be with pants, comfortable, because I am working with people, even though people comes and they lie down, I am working all night on each one. So I like to be really comfortable with comfortable clothes and working myself. So I tell people, If you want to see a show and you want to see the feathers, I can put them also. I can dance, I can do a lot of things, but I like to be honest to people, and I feel honest with myself also, being me, not pretending to be somebody else. And like I told you, all this is my experience, my research, and don't believe me, do your own research, do your own experience also. I'm just passing through what I learned with all this. So, um, some symptoms, I mean, when you drink the ayahuasca, like I say, let's say 45 minutes after, we all are going to start having the trance. So we all start having the trance, and we start, the first part is called la mareación, where you feel a little bit dizzy, you feel like a little bit drunk. Is that is the effect is starting to make effect on each of us, okay? So the first thing is that you're starting to feel a little bit dizzy and like a little bit drunk. So that's, you're starting to do like that. So I ask the participants with a prior talk that I give them to go to each place, and after drinking the ayahuasca vine, the ayahuasca drink, to go to each place and to close your eyes and try to focus on your forehead, on your yes, on your forehead, in between your eyebrows, and at the middle of your head, in between the two right hemisphere and left hemisphere of the brain. We have a little, it's like a size of a rice, and that's the pineal gland. Yes, inside the pineal gland, there's some crystals and there's some liquid. So what when we activate our pineal gland, these crystals start moving, and they start like to um, crush, crush. So we start to segregate different chemics like serotonin, melatonin, oxytocin, dimethyltryptamine, and you name it. We have the biggest pharmacy, we have it in here. So sometimes we have our pineal gland calcified. So these crystals, if it's calcified, they cannot make the sparkles. They cannot make all these sparkles. So that's why it's very, very good to descalcificate our pineal gland, with food, and trying not to use like toothpaste like Colgate or all these brands that they have fluoride, as fluoride calcificates our pineal gland. Also, fluoride, they used to give it to the people in the Second World War. They used to give them in the water fluoride, so they would be like a lethargic. Mm. So they don't make a lot of revolt. So they still do in a lot of places in the world. They still put a lot of fluor in the water. Also, they tell us to wash our teeth, to brush our teeth three times a day. And imagine, from the paladar, the pineal gland is right there. So it's a constant giving a fluor. So we need to descalcificate our pineal gland to make it work properly. So I'm going back to the ayahuasca ceremony, okay? So once when you drink the ayahuasca, you go to your place, you close your eyes to try to activate our pineal gland. If you can activate your pineal gland, our third eye will open, yes, and then you can, when we have our third eye open, we can dive into our right hemisphere of the brain. Imagine all this, what you see all around, it's left. So imagine all what we have in the right. We have parallel worlds, dimensions, ETs, you name it, you have everything there, you know. So everything can happen to ayahuasca, and anything is possible to ayahuasca. So if I tell you all the testimonies that I heard of people coming, because I follow up, you know, it's very important the follow up of ayahuasca, because right now it's like a fashion, and a lot of people are gathering a lot of people, you know, in one group, 40, 50 people, and I don't find that really very professional, because you can have, imagine I manage short small groups of 10, 12 people, that's it, no more. And I have been having uh, people having a hard time, catharsis. And imagine if you have 40 people, and how many people can you handle or take care if somebody is in a catharsis. So I don't find it really very professional to do all these people, but it's on each shaman or each person. But my sugerencia, what I suggest to you is that if you're going to look for a place, always ask how many people, if there's bathrooms, if it's an open place or if it's a closed place. I like to do it in a closed place so I can contain the space. And also I have bathrooms, because with ayahuasca, you can have you can vomit and you can have diarrhea. Well, I'm going to tell you some of the symptoms. I always give all the symptoms in case you have one of all or none. But if you know the symptoms, you don't get afraid if this or that happened, you know, because you already know. So the symptoms could be vomit, could be diarrhea, could be trembling, you know, you start to trembling, could be uh, eye drops when you crying, or the how you well, crying drops. Yes. So you can have that. You can have also burps. You can burp. You can sigh a lot, and you can have also a lot of gases during the night. So it might happen just one, it might happen all, or it might happen none. But I always give all these, you know. It happens to me that, you know, I was at one point, I was feeling very dizzy and I went to the bathroom. Sorry, I was feeling like cramps. So I knew I needed to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, and yes, you know, I have diarrhea, but in the bathroom I start to have all my experience, you know, all of a sudden my pineal gland was activated there, so I started to vomit at the same time that I was having diarrhea, and I started to have this shaking. So it happened, all of the symptoms in the bathroom at one point. It doesn't mean that it has to happen all night, no. It happens just at one part of the ceremony. That is the hardest part, you know, because you have to deal with this uncomfortable part that your body might be aching, because we are changing probably maybe dimensions, maybe, and our physical body doesn't know how to go through all that easy. So we start to feeling all these things. Also, the ayahuasca doesn't taste that good. It's a little bit like, how can I say the explanation? Well, it can be like prune juice with lemon, with tamarind. I don't know. It's very strange flavor, you know. At the beginning, some people, the first time they try it, you know, they say, this is not as bad as they thought. But then when it starts the effect, you know, because I usually ask if somebody wants a second shot, if they didn't go into the trance or something, they would know. you know. So when I ask after an hour and a half, 2 hours, I start to ask, in case somebody didn't go through the trance and wants a little bit more of ayahuasca, please let me know, you know. And very few people come for the second one because it's so strong, and then they don't want to have the second one because it, you know, the first time you don't know the power, but once when you know the power, it's like I just smell it and I become all shiver. All the I start to become all my chicken skin. Yes, just if I smell it, it's really wonderful. But the effect, I mean, it could be you. I don't know what can happen to you, but what I can tell you is that it's going to give you a very good feeling after the ayahuasca. Yes, a wellness in your life. I can tell you, it's like from ayahuasca, from ayahuasca to now. You know, all my life changes, everything changes for good, and you vibrate it. So people feel it because vibration, you feel vibration. So people feel it. They don't know, oh, what happened to you? Did you cut your hair? Did you do this? Did you do that? No, it's just because you are vibrating in love and people can feel it. And we are a magnet. So what you are, you attract. So if you're angry, you attract angerness. If you are in love, you attract love. The same I explained. If you fell in, because there's only two feelings, love and fear. Yes. So in ayahuasca, if you get into fear, fear is going to suck you. But if you get into love, love is going to suck you. So I give some elements, some tools in case this or that happen. How can you go out of your bad experience or bad vision? That there's not bad experience with ayahuasca. It's all how you incorporated in your everyday life. But if you go out of the ayahuasca ceremony and you say, oh, I had a very bad trip, that's it, you had a very bad trip. But if you said, oh, it was hard, but I worked this and I worked that, and but it was really give me a very hard time, but and then you apply it in your everyday life as a medicine, as an experience, and everything changes. Everything changes. It's really very, very good. So I don't know. For me, it changes. You know, since the first time I had my first ayahuasca, I had an episode in my life, like uh, like 15 years ago, more or less. I have a thrombosis. Yes. So the doctors prescribed me because the doctor said that my blood is too thick. So they prescribed me to thinner my blood, a lot of medicine, and also these very tight stockings for the pressure to go up and down, you know. So in my first ayahuasca, I asked to ayahuasca, please ayahuasquita, because you can put an intention, might give it to you or might not, but the intention is there. So I asked to the ayahuasca, please, ayahuasca, cure my blood. And then I drink the shot and I start feeling all these things. And then I start, you know, when I started to see all these sacred geometry patterns and colors in my first ayahuasca, I was like, with my eyes closed in my space, I was like, wow, wow, telling myself inside in quiet because there was more participants. I was saying like inside of me, like, wow, wow, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Thank you, thank you, thank you, gracias. And I realized that the more thank you I was giving, and the more beautiful it was becoming everything. Then I realized that I was doing everything with my thoughts and my gratitude, you know. So everything started to become beautiful and beautiful and more beautiful each time. So coming back to what I asked to the ayahuasca to cure my blood, you know, all of the sudden I am in that space after all the geometry and everything. I am in that space where it's becoming a huge room where I am full of millions of little like serpents that they were like this roll, like and they were like phosphorescent. They were green and blue phosphorescent. So I realized that I came to a space where I could change my DNA. All those serpents that I see is the ADN genetic. So I realized that I could do that. And like I told you earlier, all the understanding comes by themselves. You know, you don't need to do anything. You don't have to try to understand anything, because there's nothing to understand. Everything will become in its place. It's like the night of the ayahuasca is as if we just open the box of the puzzle and we are going to put the puzzle in the table. That's the night of the ayahuasca. But what happens the day after, the week after, the month after? All these pieces of the puzzle, they start to feel perfect. So you start to put all the puzzle pieces in the perfect space. And that's your life. That's what happened with your life. Everything starts to become in its place. All of a sudden, you don't know, but you receive in the telephone the call that you were expecting all your life, or or the meeting, or this or that, but everything just fall in its place in its time. But reminding you that you are vibrating in love. So if you are vibrating in love, you're going to attract those things. So if you have a problem that you could not know how to handle it, you're going to handle it in a different way, because you're going to handle it with a state of ayahuasca. Give us a peace, a lot of peace. Yes. And that peace stays with you. Let's say that the night of the ayahuasca, we are going to open that door. You are going to go to the other side. You are going to look, oh, okay, this is what it is here. And then you are going to go back and you're going to step out of that door. But you already know what is in the other side. So you can attend to that place anytime, because you already know. You cannot attend to that place because you don't know it right now. But once when you know it, it's easy to go in and out of that place anytime. So you leave the door open. So you can access every time in your everyday life. So it's really wonderful. And also, at one point with the ayahuasca ceremony, um, you feel at this point, after the, let's say, the turmoil of everything what you have going, and your vomit, or if you need to go to the toilet or whatever, after all this turmoil, all these become peace. And I like to call it the peace of the dead. That's why when somebody die, they say rest in peace, because your soul is in that space that in Sanskrit they call it samadhi. Samadhi is a state where you are like, I experience it in ayahuasca, where you are floating in the cosmos, being everything and nothing at the same time. And you are just peace. That's it. It's a very, very, very wonderful feeling that stays with you after ayahuasca. Yes, because now that you know that peace of the dead, you can achieve it anytime. So everything changes. When you are going to resolve a problem, you solve it in the state of peace. So you solve it in a different way that if you were angry at that problem. Yes. So it's really very, very, sorry. Sorry. So it's really very wonderful way, not even you knowing it, that things will solve by itself. That's the understanding that you get during the ayahuasca by yourself. So it really becomes really beautiful, the healing part. So coming back to my experience, I am in this room full of little serpents that I knew. So when I get out of the ayahuasca, the understanding that I was healed and cured came to me. So I went to my kitchen where I used to keep these pills. I throw it all down to the toilet, yes, and I never back took them. Of course, I take care if I have to fly, I take my stockings and I put them on because of the altitude, but not every day, like the doctor told me, or taking all this medicine. And I have 9 years that I throw away all this medicine, and didn't need them. Of course, I never go back to the doctor because the doctor was going to tell me, yes, you need to take them. So I never went back to the doctor, and I have been fine these nine years without taking all this medicine. You know, we have to think about that medicine also is a business. There's doctors, there's hospitals, there's laboratories that they need to make a lot of money. So a lot of prescription, we don't need them. But we have a system that we think that the doctor is going to cure us. Like a lot of people, they think that if they come to the ayahuasca, the shaman is going to cure you. And no, you do the work, you cure yourself. We are there only to help you to have a better way of having all these symptoms, to go through them, um, feeling not as bad as you can feel. But that's our way. But really, the work, you do the work of healing. Nobody else do it. You do your own work. So it's really, we have this intelligence that we can cure everything. We have an immune system that is marvelous. So it's really very good what happens to ayahuasca, and it can happen everything. I cannot assure to the participants that they are going to be able to open up the third eye and see and have visions, because we all cannot do it because of this or that. But what I say, even though if you don't have visions, the goal of the ayahuasca is not to have a vision. The goal of the ayahuasca is to feel. So go to your heart, open up your heart, and feel love. Expand your love. Yes? Because what ayahuasca is going to do, once we drink it, we are going to wake up. This energy is called Kundalini. Kundalini is a serpent that we have dormant in our root chakra. Yes. So what we are going to do with ayahuasca, we are going to wake up this energy that we are going. Let's say it's going to be like an orgasm. We're going to build up an orgasm. Yes. So we are going to bring up this energy up through our chakras. Yes. What are chakras? They are nervous terminal in our spine. So we are going to bring all this energy. We are going to try to bring it up because we all cannot bring it up. And if we can bring it all the way to our third eye, we can open up the third eye. But if we can bring it all the way to our crown chakra, it can be a spiritual experience like none other one you have ever had before. So it's really very profound. Like I say, not a lot of people can bring all this energy. That's why we ask for a prior diet prior to coming to the ayahuasca to detox our body before, few days before and after the ayahuasca, and also for us to be able to bring this Kundalini energy up. Part of the diet is not to have sex, because we need all this energy to bring it up. So some people, they come to me and they say, oh, we have sex prior, doesn't happen anything. No, nothing happens, but you might not bring all this energy up. That's why there's a reason for what. we are asking not to have sex, or not to have sex with a partner, or alone, to masturbate, because we need that energy to bring it up. So sometimes people doesn't understand that, and they think they cheated, but no, they cheated to themselves. So if they cannot have 3 days prior without having any sex, well, you have to do an effort. So I don't know if you want me to keep going, or maybe you have some questions to ask me, and through the question I can develop something more, because I guess, I don't know, it's up to you.
That's
What do you?
perfect. Thank you so much, David. That was so much information, so much insight. I really, really appreciate that. I think we do have some questions. I wrote a load down. I always write loads of questions down, but I just want to open up the floor to everyone here. So I know that Anna has asked, what is the diet like food-wise? That you said you have to have like a specific diet before you go into the ceremony. What is that diet?
Yes, well, I ask 3 days prior to ceremony not to eat meat or chicken or pork, um, not to have any irritants like coffee or salsas or chile, things like that. The diet of sex, not to have sex also. And all this is going to help us, because what we're going to do prior to the ceremony is to detox our body. So if 3 days prior you start not eating meat, you start to detox yourself. Yes. And ayahuasca is going to be less harsh on you, because what ayahuasca does is going to cleanse yourself. Before going to a temple, you need to clean it. Yes. So let's say our body is our temple, so we need to clean it. So if you don't clean it before, ayahuasca is going to clean it for you. So it's going to be more hard on your vomiting, or on your shitting, sorry, or on going to the bathroom, or things like that. But if you prior do a work of cleansing, it's going to be very easy. Like me, my example, the first time I took ayahuasca, they asked me for 3 days prior for the uh, for the diet. So I do it 1 week, not 3 days before. I did it 1 week before, and also I did 1 week just of fruit. I just eat fruits that week. You don't have a you don't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No, you are hungry, you take an apple. You are hungry, you take a banana. You are hungry, you eat a papaya. So you are eating all day, because fruit digested very fast. In 30 minutes, we digest fruit. So we are hungry all the time. So the first 3 days could be very kind of harsh on your system, and because you are starting to detox, you can have like a headache. Yes, because you open valves and everything starts like to come out. So you might start have like a little runny nose, because all the toxins are coming out of your body. So it's very good to have a detox prior. And in my case, I did 1 week before with just the fruit. And just before the ayahuasca ceremony, few hours before, I made a colon cleansing. I don't know the name in English.
Oh, what is that called? Colobus? Oh, do you know what?
Like a
No,
colonoscopy,
but I
but
know
made of
I can't remember the
lobotomy.
name.
I don't know how you call it in English. You know that you put in through your ass some water, and you bring up in your stomach.
I really cannot remember the name, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Like the name I've gone blank, but I know what you're talking about.
Not colonoscopy. That's when they inside the camera. Sorry. Well, you put a lot of water into your stomach, and prior for that, I was very cleansed. 1 week prior with fruit, and then the last day I make a cleansing. Well, I can tell you that first ceremony, I didn't throw up. I didn't go to the bathroom. I didn't go to anything. I was amazed. but I was very cleansed. So ayahuasca is going to acknowledge what you did prior to drink the ayahuasca. Yes. So it's going to take it from you and it's going to give you a wonderful time. But you know, if you went and you eat some pork the night before or something, ayahuasca is going to acknowledge and it's going to be harsh on you. So it's going to take probably before you get to the divinity part, you have to cleanse yourself. So it's going to be more harsh. So my advice is that do your diet, cleanse yourself, and ayahuasca is going to treat you much more easy on all these things, on all these symptoms that you have to the ayahuasca.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions and would like to come off mute to ask David directly?
Hello.
Hi, Terry.
Hello. I love your artwork. Behind your head is lovely.
Oh, thank you. I will make a comment. My husband is an artist. I will give you later in the chat his site so you can see all his work because he's really a wonderful artist.
Yeah, it is amazing. Where are you? Because I want to come and do ayahuasca.
I'm located in Mexico. I am Mexican.
Oh.
But I am in Mexico and welcome to Mexico, you know, because thank God ayahuasca right now is going everywhere because I don't know, 10 years ago, not 9 years ago, you needed to go to the jungle to drink ayahuasca because you could not know people that will do ayahuasca ceremonies. But I don't know why, since I don't know, 2012 or something, there's a mission about ayahuasca that is, it has a planetary mission. And the planetary mission is that to go everywhere. So now you can find ayahuasca in Japan, in Russia, in Israel, everywhere, everywhere. And that's such a good thing. You know, a lot of people, they are against that, you know, like you have to go to the jungle, but we all not have the means, the money to go to the jungle and to pay a retreat. So if ayahuasca arrives to your place and you can go with a ceremony, that also I like to tell to people, because you know sometimes when you go to the jungle, you go into a retreat, let's say 10 days, and because you spend in the plane and you spend in the retreat, you want to make your money worth a lot, so you booked one ayahuasca after the other, you know. And for me, I think you need to give a space in between ayahuascas to integrate what you experience in your first ayahuasca, but you haven't integrate your experience of the first ayahuasca when you are going to have the second one. So if you have the chance, like me, like being in Mexico, and sorry, and people living here, they come for just for the ceremony and then they leave the next day. They do their work because ayahuasca is not just one night, it's still working the next days. And then after they booked another ayahuasca after 15 days or after a month or whenever they want, you know. But if you go to the jungle, you want to do ayahuasca because you just have 10 days and you want to have probably one day yes and the other one no and the other one every other day ayahuasca. But you don't finish to integrate the first day when you are having the second one. So my advice also, if you have a place where you can have ayahuasca close to you, don't do it one day after the other, you know, just give it time to integrate ayahuasca ceremony till you have your next ceremony.
It's making sure that we find somebody safe to have our ceremony with, that actually knows the medicine and really has like initiated with it themselves.
Can you ask again, please?
As we were saying, like I've read that there's a lot of people that are doing the AKA shaman ayahuasca ceremonies that are not putting the love into it. Basically, they want the money rather than to the healing process for the people. So we would have to really do our homework, yeah, to find a shape like somebody to help.
Well, Terry, you know what? Yes, unfortunately, right now there's a lot of people that they are just doing money with it, you know. But you have an instinct. Your instinct is never going to lie to you. It comes from your heart.
Oh yeah.
Your heart is 5,000 more strong than your brain. Your heart is the first organ that develops on the womb of the mother. All our intelligence is in the heart. So always trust your heart. The first intuition is the good one. You know, if, if you don't feel like something right away, it's because your heart is telling you, no, don't go to that place because your heart. But then if you think about it, oh yes, I might go there because it's not that bad, then you are using your mind. Your mind is ego. Okay? So
yeah.
always trust your heart.
I've actually had that. I went to somebody, I never actually, it was just via phone call. And I knew after the actual phone call, via the emails, it all sounded right. But via the phone call, it was a no-no. And I knew that wasn't the right place for me to go and have my space.
Yes, always trust your heart. It never fails. You know, it never fails. So always trust your heart. And yes, if you have a doubt, ask the shaman if you can call him. Ask some questions. You will feel where his heart is. Always, where is the heart of the shaman? You know, right now, to tell you the truth, that's my personal opinion. Very few shamans are left in the world. You know, even though the grandson of the shaman, the grandson, he says that he's a shaman because he's the grandson, but not really. You know, you have to know a lot about medicine, the plant medicine. You know, all the medicine comes from herbolaria, from the plants. So a good shaman would know. But you know, there's a lot of I don't know. You have to trust. Always talk to the shaman. If it's right, then do it. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. See where is the heart of the shaman or the facilitator or your relation or whatever. Always trust your heart. Always, always, always.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Terry. Does anyone else have any other questions for David?
I have one.
Go ahead, Raquel.
Bueno, David, muchas gracias por. Thank you very much for everything. It's so interesting. I could listening for hours, and I really appreciate that you mentioned also talking about shamans. That you prefer to take a few people and not that 40 groups sessions, because that's something I was really struggling in that issue with ayahuasca, because of course, first of all, the consciousness of the shaman has to be right. So it has to be a connection to the heart, and the heart must be clean, and you know what I mean in that sense. But also the people that come to that trip, let's say, not everyone has a consciousness that is, I mean, as I see it, not everyone is ready to experience that in that sense, right? Because I think it's like modern to take ayahuasca sometimes, and it's like, I'm going to do it, and maybe that's not a good thing because in that sacred space the shaman creates, there are different energies that mix up with the other people and things like that. I'm talking about experiences I had in meditation sessions, I could feel so much like it was my space, but I could also feel traumas from other people. So in that case, I really like that you mentioned the smaller groups. But I would be really interested in asking you what you do to prepare the session of ayahuasca. Of course, you mentioned the process of cooking it, but in the moment you are in front of the people, do you do drumming or singing, or how do you, how do you get the space ready for that ayahuasca trip? I would be really interested in that.
Well, I give the first thing, I give an explanation of this might happen or this might happen. In case this happen, I give you tools to go out of this or that.
Yeah.
And then I give the ayahuasca. Everybody goes to its place, and then I put some mantras. So we start singing mantras, and that is going to help us to quiet our mind. You know, our mind is the ego, so we need to quiet our mind. So if we are singing mantras, usually it's a Kundalini mantras, what we sing in the ceremony. If people knows it, they can sing it with us. If not, they can just da 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 da, or in their mind they can sing it, and that helps a lot because you know the mind is the ego, and we have to suppress it when we are with ayahuasca because it can be very disturbing. You know, the ego always wants to control. So once when you drink the ayahuasca, the ego, our mind, is going to be like, oh, it's 10 minutes, I don't feel anything, and what if it's too strong? And what if I have a bad trip? And if I don't vomit? And da, 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 da. All these things is our ego making a big thing out of it, you know, because the ego wants to control the experience. So we start singing mantras, and that is going to help us to lower our brain chat, you know, the ego trying to control. So this is going to help us, and then all of a sudden you don't even feel it when you are already in the trance, because let's say during the trance we are going to be like musketeers. You know, at one point at the beginning you're going to be like a musketeer with your ego. So you're going to have a spade and the ego has a spade, so you're going to be like clap 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 clap. The ego is never going to surrender, never. So you need to throw away the spade and to surrender. How do you surrender? You say, okay, ayahuasca, take me wherever you want to take me and show me whatever you want to show me. At that moment, the ego cannot go through humility. Yes, because you become humbleness, humility, and then you give all the power to the ayahuasca. So at that point, your ego, you're going to let it go to sleep and let you have your experience of divinity. Otherwise, you're going to be with the spade until you drop it, because the ego is never going to drop it. So after that talk, you know, I give to everybody, we sing the mantras, and about 45, 50 minutes, 1 hour more or less. And then we start singing Icaros. The Icaros are the singing that the Shipibo people in Peru sing to the different spirits of different plants. We ask them to come and to assist the ceremony with their powers, you know, of each plant. So they're very infantile, very childish, the way they sing the Icaros, because they are singing to our inner child also. See? So it's about another hour that we sing Icaros, and then I put some music that is very, you know, I am very electronic. I like electronic music. Not really, not punches to dance, but I put some music that is very spacey music. So once when you are at this state that I call the peace of the dead, when nothing bothers you anymore, you are just there, just feeling peace, feeling love, feeling everything, feeling nothing. You are in that state, and then I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. And then you start to feel all this excitement being there, just being. That's our essence. Just being. Not David, not Alexandra, not Anna, just me. I am. I don't know how to say it. I am. That's it. Or actually, I would take the I. Just am. So, and then after that, I put this music, and during this process where there's this relaxed music, I have some instrument. I like to play. I like to work with vibrations. Yes. So I have crystal ball healings. I have Tibetan bowls. I have tuning forks, and all these shamanic instruments that I have been collecting through all this period. And depending on the mood, what I feel at that moment, that's what I play. And I go through people, during when I tell the explanation during the night, I go through everybody, and with some plants, I make a cleansing. I also burn Palo Santo, and I pass it through people. I also I go through people, to each one when I play all these instruments. Let's say, like if you have a if you are in a if you have a tuning fork, yes, and if you are in a stadium and this tuning fork is calibrated to 432 hertz, so if I have two tuning forks that they are calibrated at the same frequency, if I hit one, the vibration of this is going to start moving all the way through the stadium until it gets to the other one. And because they are tuned in the same frequency, the other one automatically is going to start vibrating. Yes. So the same happens to us. When when you are in that state, we have all these frequencies inside of us. They are dormant, they are asleep. But if you just start to do this, inside of you, automatically, all these vibrations, they are going to start vibrating also. And you start to heal at the level of vibration. Yes? Because everything is vibration. Everything is a vibration. And, actually with ayahuasca, at one point, one of my experience, I felt the vibration of the universe. It was something, there's no words to say. I mean, everything what I'm telling you is just nothing of what it really is, but there's no words to describe a feeling. How can I describe a feeling? You can't. But once when you feel it, it's like, oh my gosh. And that's what happened with ayahuasca. You feel it. See? So that's the way I do my ceremonies. I give the people, and what you was telling, it's very true. When there's like 40 people, sometimes, I can feel that sometimes I vomit for someone that is next to you that cannot vomit. So you vomit for that person. So yes, even though it's a very personal experience, at the same time, it's a group experience, the group that you are going to be. So yes, some people came to me that they went through first they came with me and they wanted to try another shaman or another ceremony. And they went through another ceremony, and then they came back to me and they told me, David, it was horrible. there was 40 people, there was 40 people vomiting, there was 40 people because everybody was playing and without knowing or anything, and it was horrible. I just wanted it to leave, and I could not leave because it was in this place where I could not live. So, and they say, when I come to you, everything is so relaxed and so peaceful, and and they came with me all this time. So, my ego was so they make it so big at that point because, well, people prefer me. And sorry, I want to be humble, but it's a very good question. Yes. Be careful. Always ask how many people are your groups to the shaman. Talk to him if you feel something is not right with it. And if he doesn't really tell you this is it, always trust the, the, the synchronicities of the universe. Always. If this is not the timing for you and the universe is telling you it's not your time to drink ayahuasca, don't drink it. The perfect timing is going to arrive to you and you will know it. It's like me, I wanted to do ayahuasca 3 years prior. I did my first ceremony, but I was not really, really convinced with who. So they invited me to several ayahuasca, and talking to the facilitator of the shaman, it didn't felt good for me, and I didn't went until it was right. And the right moment is going to get to you perfect.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's a good thing. Like when you are ready in a conscious way, the situation comes. It's like what you mentioned, that everything flows when you vibrate at the frequency of love. Yeah, that's so true. Thank you so much for your answer. It's amazing.
Where are you from?
De España, pero
okay, because you were German. Talking to me in Spanish, so I said I'm going to ask where is she from.
Yeah. So I'm from Spain, but yeah, so that's why I also speak Spanish, and I wanted to read you in Spanish because it's
well,
why not?
I have a video, but it's in Spanish. I'm going to ask later to Alexandra if she can send you the link, because it's in Spanish, so I didn't want to put it here. And it starts with a shaman that I invited to my house in Mexico, and he came here, and I make he starts first with an Ícaro, and then I make a interview to him, but it's in Spanish, and then he closes with an Ícaro. So he is a shaman from Peru, and later I will ask Alexandra to send you all guys the link, so you can, if you are interested, and because it's in Spanish.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Very good. I have a few questions, but I want to make sure that does anyone else have a question? Sarah or Anna? No. I actually want to ask you, I'm sure you don't get people like this, because I can tell already with your frequency and your vibration that you get very genuine people. But there are obviously people that take ayahuasca for recreational purposes, to trip or to get high, if that's like what they want to call it. What happens to them during that journey? Because in a sense, that's a bit disrespectful to the medicine, isn't it? To take it with that wrong intention?
Well, you know what? A lot of people, they want to have a stronger experience. Probably they try all the other drugs or whatever, and they come because they wanted something more. It doesn't matter, even if they come because of that reason, ayahuasca is good for everybody. So maybe they don't come for the right purpose, but ayahuasca is going to give them the right purpose after. So it's good anyway. The thing is for them to take it, because it has been healing a lot of people that they had addictions. Now, ayahuasca, you cannot do it as recreational, because who wants to vomit? Who wants to feel bad? Who wants to not because it's not that, I mean, at one point it is very nice, but you have to go through a lot, through a lot. So you cannot get addicted to it. It's nothing that, oh, tomorrow I need it. No, no, no. You think about it. And every time you do ayahuasca, you come with a little respect, you know? So, and also it has been helping a lot of people for addictions, you know, to take off the addictions. You know, some people, they come because they have a drinking problem or cocaine problem or this or that, you know, but it helps them also a lot. So yes, probably they don't come for the right, you know, for the right thing, but ayahuasca is going to give them the right thing because it's going to show them. And all depends what is in the right, I mean, it's in the subconscious or what they or they are programmed what they are going to live. So they might live you know, if they are, I don't like to say this, but if they are involved with the diabolic things, you know, or also if you like to see movies with a like thriller that they are very scary, all that stays in your subconscious, and your subconscious doesn't know what is real and what is not, what is a movie. So you have it there. So you might live those things. That's why we should take very much care of what are we looking watching on TV or movies or all that, because it stays there. And sometimes you manifest all that in your ayahuasca. So
Wow, that's so interesting. So can ayahuasca heal dis-ease, things like diabetes, cancer, if someone went to the ceremony with that intention?
yes, yes. You know, some people, they have come here and they came because, you know, they have this HIV AIDS, you know, and they go to the doctor for every year and they count their T cells and all these things that, and then they came to the ayahuasca for the first time in their life, and then they drink the ayahuasca, and then this person went to the doctor to make his annual and he called me. He was very, very happy, very excited, and he told me, David, guess what? And what? The count of my T cells, I don't know, remember if you drop or you, I don't know how he explained me. And he says, they are now normal after probably 7 years that every year they were not good. So imagine. And also it has been curing people with cancer, with a lot of issues. Yes.
That's amazing. Do you feel that everyone should take ayahuasca?
Well, it would be wonderful at one point if everybody, you know, it's like, I don't know if you know Graham Hancock. He said that every politician should drink at least 10 times before taking power, you know, ayahuasca, and it would be a different world, that's for sure. I don't know if it's for everybody. I think at one point they can suffer more some than the others, but at one point it's going to be very good for the people to have the experience of ayahuasca. Yes.
Amazing. There was one question and it's just slipped out of my head now and I can't remember if I wrote it down. You know, you mentioned about samadhi being
Yes.
that stillness. Is that home? Is that where we actually are? Because sometimes when I feel I don't know, I have this sense that like I can't wait to go home. Yeah, I don't know. This is something I've always had. And I'm like, I don't know where home is, but it's what I always imagine it to be. Like how you described samadhi is how I basically imagine.
Well, you know, I recommend you in YouTube. There's, if you put samadhi, there's going to be 2 chapters in 2 videos, and it's very well explained what is samadhi. And I mean, it's really worth it to look for it.
Have you had any experiences with ETs during your journey?
Yes. Yes. You know, at one point, I was not guiding the ceremony. I was participating in the ceremony, because when you guide the ceremony, you sacrifice your experience because you have to be taking care of the others. So, but I drink ayahuasca while I am taking care of others, because I need to be in the same frequency as the others to feel them. So, in this particular time, I was not guiding the ceremony. I was completely in that state of samadhi. I was lying down, completely feeling peace. When you are feeling at this peace, is when you can go out of your body experience. Yes. So I was just lying down, feeling peace, nothing. And then all of a sudden, I felt in my heart chakra, I felt an electric shock. You know, like when they are going to when somebody is in the hospital and somebody is dying and they put these shocks to make them come back. I don't know how it's called. Well, all of a sudden I was just lying down on ayahuasca, and then I felt in my heart chakra, I felt this electric shock, like so I became like this, boom, to my place. So the understanding came that I was out of my body and I came back to my body, you know. But all of a sudden, everything was like celestial colors, violet, purple, green, all very pastel colors all around. And then I was lying down, I don't know, like in a, you know, when they operate people in that kind of bed. I was like lying down like this, and all around my head there was all these ETs that they were like they show it to you, you know, with big eyes, but they were red. The face, the color of the skin was red, and they were 7 around me, and they were analyzing me, looking at me. So after that, I came back, and that's it. But the understanding, because like I told you, it's very hard to say, but the understanding comes. And I understood that they abduct me and they were analyzing me, you know, and also they become very curious. How did we break that dimension, and how can he see us, you know? And they say, oh, it's ayahuasca, that's why. So yes, something very similar happened to my husband, you know, but he has the same, but instead of in the heart, he has it on the third eye, you know, this electric shock. And also he had seen all these CTs and everything, but it was beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Have you had any negative experiences, scary experiences?
You know, in all these 9 years, I have been so lucky. All of my experience, all of them, they have been pure love, pure awareness, pure spirituality. Yes, probably I have going through the not good feeling of the body aching or the vomit, but that doesn't mean nothing, you know. The experience by itself, for me, it has been wonderful. All of them, all of them. I have been having hard time attending people having hard time. Yes.
Do you have a people who they take ayahuasca once in their life and that's all they need, and then some people they come back because they feel there is still unresolved stuff, they're still working through some stuff, or they have new traumas that need healing?
You never know, you know. Sometimes some people, they have come with one time. You know, there was this guy that came to me, and in one session he had problems that he was going to get married. He was going to yes, to get married, but he was an alcoholic and cocaine addict, and this girl was tired of this, all this. And something happens at one point. Something happens that he ended up in jail. Okay, so he came to me. I give him a talk and he decided that he was going to have ayahuasca. So he did ayahuasca, and he got married. He stopped drinking. He stopped doing cocaine, and he only came one time. I asked him if and like my experience after my first time, I was discovering so much that I wanted to discover more. So I wanted to go further. Doesn't matter if I was having a body ache or whatever, you know. So it all depends on the person or the trajectory that you have prior to that also. You know, if you, because nobody is wrong where you are in spirituality, you know, but sometimes your best friend that grew up with you and is holding you by the hand, and you go with that person and you go one step up holding hands, and then you go another step holding hands, and then you go another step, but probably that friend stays in that step and you go one step ahead. So you hold hands and you are already a step ahead, and then you go another one and your friends stay in the step ahead. So at one point you need to not to hold hands, you know, and that doesn't mean that person is in a wrong place or not. You are in the step you need to be, and that person is in the step it needs to be. That nothing wrong with that. So it all depends also your experience in how much you prior meditate or don't meditate, or watch inspirational videos, or practice in your everyday life. It has a lot to do with that also.
Can you tell us about like the integration process? How does that work? How does the integration process work? So you come to the ceremony, you drink the ayahuasca, you have your journey.
Yes, then when we finish the ayahuasca in the morning, usually when it starts getting light, everybody immediately, even though you didn't sleep, your body, yes, even though you don't sleep, you don't rest, your body segregates the same chemics as you segregate when you're sleeping, like melatonin. So you don't feel tired. It's not like if you went for a party and you arrive at 8 o'clock in the morning to your house feeling like horrible. No, you do a hard job, but it's 8 o'clock in the morning and you are waking up and you see all what happened. You could not believe all what happened. And then as people start gathering, you know, I made some tea and I passed tea to everybody, and then everybody starts to wake up as little by little, and then we all get together and we start talking about what happened to you and what happened to you, and that's very rich. It reaches enriquecedor.
Bond creates a bond.
No, it's very rich, you know, for everybody else to hear what happened to the other person, because then you start to remember. Probably Anna says, you know, this and this and this happened, and then all of a sudden I don't remember, but oh, this happens to me as well. So everybody start talking about their experiences, and it enriches everybody else's experiences too. Then we had something for breakfast. We keep talking and talking, none, and then after, when everybody's ready to leave around 11:30, they start to leave to their homes and everything. And then after that, after 5 days, you know, I give them a call. How are you feeling? How this and that? And they start telling me, you know, everything what it happens to them, each one in a different experience. And then they start to integrate that. And if it's on my understanding to help them on what they tell me, because it enriches us just to talk about it, you know. That's the integration part.
Okay, amazing. And you trained with a Peruvian shaman, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes.
I invited several shamans here to my house, and they came to my place, and we drink ayahuasca. One day yes, one day no, one day yes, one day yes, one day yes, one day no. That's why I was telling you, give time to ayahuasca to really enriches the first experience before you taking the second one. But yes, it was really very, very nice experiences. I have been inviting shamans from the Putumayo, Colombia, or in the Purcalpa in Peru, near Inacocha, different times, different shamans.
And do you invite them when you hold ceremonies? Sometimes you invite them, or is it just you that holds the space, or do you have helpers, or you invite the shamans?
Both. My husband always is with me, helping me. In case something, if there's more catharsis that I can go through, or he's always there helping me, in all the ceremonies. And yes, when I invited the shamans, I used to make ceremonies with them, and also, but to tell you the truth, at one point, some people that I call them, that they came when the shaman was here, or they came just with me, I call them, this shaman is going to be here, and some of them, they told me, David, I prefer to be just with you, because your energies, I know my energy is very much feminine energy. And a lot of shamans, they have this strong masculine energy. And some people, they prefer feminine energy, even though we have to balance both of them. So, but I invite them, and I make ceremonies with them or without them. Yeah.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any more questions?
Oh, it's just a little one. Sorry. So David, do you also drink ayahuasca during the ceremony, or you don't, in order to help the people through the catharsis? Because
I do drink ayahuasca because I want to be in the same frequency as all the participants, so I can feel them, and I know who needs me and who doesn't need me, and I can feel also like who wants just my attention, and they want me just to be there taking care just of one person. I also can feel who really needs me and who wants me there just because they are afraid, or because they want me to be there like a nanny. So I drink ayahuasca to feel them, and also with ayahuasca you gain all your powers, so sometimes you see things in the state of ayahuasca, like, let me tell you, like x-rays visions. At one point I was taking care of somebody. I was making a cleansing with some herbs, and they were lying down, and then I am doing with the cleansing, and then all of a sudden I open my eyes, and I see this guy that I was making the cleansing with the albahaca and how do you say albahaca in English?
Uy, no sé.
Basil.
Basil, okay.
Basil. I was cleansing with basil, and then all of a sudden I open my eyes, and I see these guys like as if when you make a lot of exercise, you have the marks of the muscles. Yes. So I saw that on him, and I keep going through the rest. And after the ceremony passes through the day, through the night, then in the morning when we wake up and we are starting to talk, he has his sweatshirt on, and then it's getting hot, and then I told him, no, I came to him and I say, I see in you, I saw on you that I saw all your muscles, and then all of a sudden he takes off his sweatshirt, and he has a t-shirt under with the muscles, and he didn't took the sweatshirt, and I was really very, very concerned. And it happens that sometimes when I'm doing that, I could see the skeleton of people.
Wow.
So, and I don't know, at one point also in one of my ceremonies, I start asking the ayahuasca. Sorry, the telephone. Sorry. And what I was saying?
That you started seeing the skeleton, and my question was also, could you also see organs that were damaged? Like, could you also see, yeah, like
yes. Sorry, thank you for
pieces?
reminding me where I was going to go. Yes. So with ayahuasca, at one point in one of the ceremony, one of my intentions, I asked ayahuasca to show me my powers.
Mhm.
Well, since that day, I can smell much more. You know, sometimes I'm driving and I say, oh, here smells garlic, here smells coffee, here smells, you know, I'm like that. So be careful
Wow.
what you ask, you know, because it develops. And yes, sometimes you can see organs or you can see something not really nice, or yes, you are, that's why I drink ayahuasca at the same time, so I can be and vibrate in the same frequency as the participants.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I was distracted. The telephone started to ring and I was like, you know, sorry for that lapse.
That's fine. Harry, did you have a question?
Yeah. Have you ever experienced when I've done like mushroom ceremonies or any, like I haven't done ayahuasca, but DMT, I always find that the plant medicine plays with me and tickles me. And have you ever experienced that? Because I end up feeling like I'm being tickled a lot and it wants to play. And someone said to me, it might be because of my nature, I'm quite playful.
Well, probably, I don't know, but yes, ayahuasca knows each person, you know, and it knows where it needs to go. It knows what it needs to show you. Ayahuasca never is going to give you more than what you can handle. Never. So always remember that. Ayahuasca is going probably to give you
I'm not scared of medicine anymore.
never more than what you can handle.
I used to be quite scared of taking the medicine, but now I have so much respect for the plants. It's just like blown me away. The intelligence. They're more intelligent than us. Well, not that, but we go hand in hand.
Well, imagine all the plants, they communicate through the roots with the DMT. All the plants, trees, plants, just they communicate.
Mycelium.
What psyllium?
Mycelium.
Oh.
Is that not what the roots are from the mushrooms to the trees and
yes,
the network?
Yes, it's really amazed, you know, how nature works.
Yeah.
And also, you know, ayahuasca can be very sarcastic. You know, at one point there was a participant, a friend of ours, and then all of the sudden he told us this story, you know, that all of the sudden he's lying down and then he see this anaconda coming to him like this, and then it comes the big face in front of his face, you know, and this it says, I'm going to say it in Spanish, okay, because and then I will traduce it. And very sarcastic, it was the ayahuasca spirit that came into the anaconda, you know, animal. So it came and he says to this guy, óyeme pendejo, ¿por qué estás diciendo que te llamas Juan si tu nombre es Juan de Dios? So it means, hey stupid, hey idiot, why are you telling your name is Juan if your name is Juan de Dios? So since that day, every time I present it to somebody, he says, hi, Juan de Dios, nice to meet you. You know, now he doesn't say Juan. So yes, ayahuasca could be, the spirit of the plants could be sarcastic. All depends in the person also.
And when you were saying, I done a ceremony last week, and every time I went into the toilet, this is when I could feel the intensity, and I could feel it was like a flower drilling into my third eye, like just drilling and telling me, you are beautiful, I am beautiful, you are beautiful, I am beautiful.
It's like that. I mean, like I was telling you, I had the same, it's the same happened to me. I went to the toilet, and then all of a sudden, all my process in the bathroom, I was looking at all these um, dimensions and vomiting at the same time, that cheating and all these feelings of love. And I don't know, it's something I cannot describe it, but it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, David, how do you, does someone help you to go to the toilet? Because when I do mushroom ceremonies, I can't go to the toilet if I'm in the journey, because one, I don't want to feel like I don't want to ruin the journey, but also I feel like really light, and I don't know, I feel like I can't move and get up. And
Yes, well, it's very different, I mean, with ayahuasca, you don't hallucinate, you have visions, and you are much more aware of everything. So people think that you lost, that you are lost. No, you are much more aware of everything. Probably at one point you are very much into the trance, and maybe you need like to stand up little by little because, like I told you, you get dizzy or something. But most of the people, they don't need help to go to the bathroom or to stand up. Or few people, yes, I am there for that also. I have people that they come from with their parents since they were 13 years old age. And also people, I have been having people of 80 years old. So, if there's like my mother, that she rest in peace, she came to me 11 times, and it was the most beautiful feeling to assist my mother on ayahuasca. I mean, how can I explain that? It's something wonderful. Imagine that your mother, that I love her so much, and for me to be able to assist her, she came 11 times. And of course, people like that, I have to help her, probably to incorporate them to go to the bathroom or something. Or I bring them to the bathroom, leave them in the bathroom, close the door. But I'm always also very concerned about the timing that they spend in the bathroom. And if they spend a lot of time or something, I just go there and I just knock. If they answer, I let them, or anything. But if they don't answer, or then I get preoccupied. So like I told you, I sacrifice my experience because I don't just lie down and close my eyes and let myself go to attend others. But it's wonderful experience because I get all this love that I give. I give it back. I receive it back. Our system doesn't know to realize, like, if you give a gift or if you receive a gift. It's the same feeling. That's why it feels so good when you receive a gift than when you give a gift. It's the same with ayahuasca. The more I give, the more I receive. And, there's no hocus pocus. Love is the answer. If you work with love, if you give yourself to love, nothing goes wrong. Nothing.
thank you so much. Did anyone else have a question for David? No. David, tell us where we can find you, because I'm sure a lot of people here are going to want to come to your retreats now.
Well, I have a site in Facebook. It's called Ayahuasca Apertura Dimensional. Yes, I have more than 20,000.
I can send it around.
Please send a link. And I have almost 20,000 followers there. My site is in bilingual. It's in Spanish and English because a lot of articles are in English. And I like to share all types of information from shamans, from chemics, from biologists, from doctors, from science, for whatever. All the information is good. And I just put it there. And for you to take whatever you think it goes with you. But it's very good information what I place there, put there.
David, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your experience and your knowledge and your wisdom on ayahuasca. And I would love to have you back on soon. And I actually want to attend one of your retreats. I'm sure we all do here. But thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you everyone for attending as well.
Well, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to see this video and to be here and to place the questions. And I want to ask you for forgiveness in case I messed up with my English or something. But I hope you could understand the big picture out of everything what I've said, even though I went here and come back here and then retake the subject. But I am not an oratory, is not my vocation. My vocation is to guide you in ayahuasca. So
it was perfect.
Thank you very much.
Perfect, yeah.
Thank you all very much. And welcome anytime to Mexico or to any retreat. If you have 10 people and you want to make a retreat, we can talk about it. I have a wonderful place here with a beautiful view, and we can go through diet, we can go through talks, spiritual talks and everything, and ayahuasca ceremonies too. So please feel free if you want to write me an inbox or something asking about how we can do it. I'm up to do it. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, David. I'll send around your email as well.
Yes, please. And thank you.
Thank you. See you soon, everyone.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.